The On The Esky final round.
Yes, yeah. And to kick off the final round, we'll start off with the fighting. So the big off card, of course, was UFC 260. How about some Malaki to kick it off?
Yeah, Malaki. Jamie Malaki.
So
Aussie fighter.
Yeah, essentially the replacement for the Volkanovski fight, because of course that had come off the card, so they needed to bring an extra fight onto the main card. So they brought him up, taking on Kamara. Is it Kamara? Karma Worthy. Started off very quick and then just hit him with a nice, I think it was right hand on the chin, and Worthy just asleep.
Yep.
Straight away folded him.
Got straight through his guard. It looked like he dropped his hands for just a second there, and Jamie got him right on the chin. He improves to 13-4.
Didn't fold him, face planted him. That's the difference. Worthy did the face plants.
His feet really go from underneath him.
40-second knockout. Won me a little bit of money on the weekend. Thank you, Jamie. Be keeping an eye on him, the 26-year-old.
It was crazy. From one angle, it didn't even really look like he...
It didn't look like...
It sort of just glanced him across the chin.
And he said it after the fight. It's like it didn't feel like I hit him that hard, but the ones that knock him out are those ones. So it's just a clean shot as you look at Monkey's Bills there.
Yeah. Just having a look.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Just touches him on the chin, right on the button, and...
I say he dropped guard. It was half a second that his hands were down. And that's all it took.
I think it was a lightweight. It was left. It was left hook, not a right. So that kicked off the main card. Great start. KO to kick it off. And then the girls came out. We had Miranda Maverick, who comes in as a bit of a hot favourite, and she pieced apart Robertson.
Yeah, went the distance, but Miranda had her...
on the feet, she just so dominated.
Yeah.
Robinson, I think, won the second round, won that. With her wrestling, took her down, but Miranda kind of took it over in the third and then out-wrestled her. But then when they stood up, she picked her apart. I don't think Jillian's face after this looked overly too nice.
Didn't look good during it.
She took a lot of strikes.
Yep. Moving into the first of the big three
speaking
fights,
about blokes taking strikes.
Oh, man. Almeida ate some from Sean Sugar O'Malley.
Yes.
How good is O'Malley?
Yeah, he picked him apart.
Yeah, he could have finished him in the first, and he does like the walk-off, Sean O'Malley. This one, for me, it didn't even look like he was trying to do the walk-off. It looked like he was looking to the ref saying, do you want me to murder this man?
Yeah. Call it off. He's done.
Yeah. And to Almeida's credit, like, he's got a chin on him. There's no questioning that.
He took a heap of shots.
He took an absolute batter.
He needs to have a couple months off, Almeida.
Man, it was kind of like it was getting hard to watch for me. Like, I like O'Malley and I respect his craft, but this was an absolute flogging. And then in the third, he had the knockdown, and Almeida, he's on his back again, looks at the ref, and you could hear
he looked pretty done. I wasn't stiff as a board, but he was done at that point.
He wasn't stiff as a board until he copped that shot on his back. The
follow-up one,
pretty rare to see a guy on his back cop a big punch in the face.
It's super necessary.
I guess.
Quoting Masvidal in this regard, but we kind of mentioned it before the show. This, Rogan and DC on commentary were kind of calling like, "Hey, you got to jump on the fight and finish him." Until the ref pulls you off, it's go time.
Yep.
Then they saw this one and they're like, "Oh yeah, maybe they should have stopped it." Like,
it looked bad.
Yeah. And it's a huge shot. Like, it was, right hand that started at a 90-degree angle all the way out, big windmill.
Yeah.
Just. Absolutely,
just the walk up to him and just the casual, I'm going to put my fist through the floor here.
Like a lamb to slaughter.
This bloke's taken over 100 significant shots from me at this point and hasn't really touched me at all. I'm winning this fight handedly. And then drops an absolute bomb on him and knock him out.
What do you think about O'Malley calling himself undefeated still? Like, he just doesn't count that loss.
Did you see?
Just doesn't. It's just not on his.
So
good attitude. Good attitude.
Wrong. He lost.
Did you see Bruce Buffer was introducing him, and he's a fighter with 12-1, and as he said, with one loss, and as he says that, O'Malley goes 0, just for the camera, just a sneaky little 0. Well, that's what he thought.
He has lost, but anyways, there's no questioning his entertainment value.
Yeah, but what division they fight in? That's it's not welterweight, is it?
No,
it's not lightweight either. Are they the one down?
So Alamedi has got a 45-day medical suspension.
Yeah, that's pretty standard. Actually, that's a bit short.
Yeah,
honestly.
well,
they usually
Malaki
60 days.
has a 180-day suspension.
Really?
Might have broke his hand in the process.
Yeah.
Depends on what it is, because usually they have to get medical clearance. It's essentially like you suspend, don't do anything unless you get medical clearance. So they get a doctor to confirm it.
Yeah. Yeah.
For a guy that had
X-rays on his right wrist.
Told you. So 40-second fight, knock a bloke out is probably hand or wrist related that he needs to get sorted.
Bantam.
Yeah. So he might then challenge. They've got Jan and Sterling going to run theirs back, and Sterling was in the media this week saying, why is he get an instant rematch, etc. Considering he was winning that fight 4 rounds to 0 and then threw an illegal knee, I guess that's probably fair for a rematch. But those two have got to do it. Then they got Sandhagen fighting TJ Dillashaw. Sean O'Malley's probably pretty close to that. I think that's probably where he'd be. He might be 6 or 7. But he'll be close to it.
He had that drug ban as well, which has probably kept him out of that upper echelon of the UFC.
But I'd say this big knockout will get him
that should
back,
catapult him.
Fly back up the rankings. So then they followed that up with the welterweight fight. Finishing off. Sterling's there, 1. Frey's actually pretty low.
Well, I don't know if that's
not in the 15.
Not in the top 15. And that's
maybe it hasn't been updated.
Up to date. No, that should be up to date. So
yeah, they update him pretty quick.
Yeah.
The rankings.
So he's still got a fair few fights before he's taken on those top of the
everyone loves watching
guys.
Yeah. So then we move on to welterweight with Woodley taking on, how do you say?
Vicente Luque.
Yeah. So Woodley taking Luque. Luque is kind of being up and coming in the division. It grappled early, so they were, like when I say grapple, clinching and up against the cage, switching position.
The first minute didn't look bad for Woodley. The first 90 seconds.
He came out very aggressive, like he was committed, like he wanted, not like his Stephen Thompson fights, like he wanted to come out and actually hit a bloke. But they... as soon as they separated, Luque kind of finded a home for, I think he hit him with a straight to start with, and then, just finished it up from there. Woodley had the stanky leg a little bit, was a bit wobbly, and falling across the cage, hit the cage, bounced off it. He was still trying to throw bombs, but in that point, he was getting hit, went down, and then with the Von Flue choke, Luque finishes it up and gets the win in this one by the sub. To finish that up for Woodley, he's 38, off contract with the UFC.
Lost 4 in a row. It's probably a question of it's either he retires or maybe he might go to Bellator for some fun fights. But at this point, I think he's probably done in the UFC. Each time he goes out there, he looks like a shell of the man that he used to be. And
an absolute killer that ran through Robbie Law.
Yeah, loved him. At the peak of his powers, but... Yeah, it's hard at that age, isn't it? And still physically looks in great shape. In great shape, but the last 4 fights have been pretty telling. So my intuition would say that he's done in the UFC. Maybe you're right. Maybe he grabs a bit of cash at Bellator or somewhere before the body really starts to give up. But I don't think he's at that elite standard now. In the
not
UFC
anymore. Not more.
Unfortunately,
the division's kind of moved on for him. So then the big one, the baddest man in the world, the heavyweight.
Yeah. So Francis Ngannou, the new baddest motherfucker on the planet. He knocked out Stipe. What did you say, Sean? What did you say? Do you want me to remind you? I said you said Francis has to finish him in 2.
Finish him within 2. Otherwise, Stipe, I think probably will take him most of the distance and finish and end up winning decision wise.
Scary, dude.
Scary. And to kick it off, it was a straight. I can't remember if it was a left or right straight, but it's a straight punch. It's got through Stipe, which has rocked him. Stipe is then trying to recover and gets an uppercut, and then he hits him with this huge hook and folds him like a chair. Fold up deck chair, away he goes. He falls over, doesn't look real good. Seeing some of the pictures of Stipe's face afterwards, he's swollen. It's like it's not even a huge hook. It's like another left straight that's
just on the
but just
testament
clean
to Ngannou's power. That's not a big wind up or anything. That's just a left jab.
So what's kick? Yeah, left straight kicks it off, knocks him down. He gets up. He's getting hit. Nice right uppercut.
That right uppercut tag.
I'd say Stipe, unfortunately to his credit, he kind of looked like he's trying to get in a gunfight with this. He's thrown back.
Yeah.
Maybe he should have dived in for a takedown. But interesting enough, Francis defended his first takedown. Showed some good defense. He's obviously been working on his wrestling.
He's a well-rounded fighter now. That's fucking crazy to think.
So that's probably maybe the reason why Stipe didn't, duck down, try to take it. But he was trying to fire back and throw some jabs. But at that point, you
can't get into a gunfight with this guy, can you?
No. This guy brought you brought a water pistol. He brought bazookas. So.
Yeah, indeed. We did mention we were a little bit concerned maybe about the octagon time with Francis finishing guys so quick. His last 4 fights, I think, went for 2.5 minutes.
Hasn't had to grind. Hasn't had to grind a fight out. Hasn't had to go 5. So that's always. That's my point. That's why I thought if I got outside 2, maybe it'd start to fade and it'd be a bit difficult for him.
He's just showing that elite power is unrivaled and he can't be matched. So, the guy called John Jones, he's been bulking up, trying to get that weight to come up to the heavyweight division. You see what he tweeted?
Yeah, show me the money.
Show me the money.
There's a bit Dana White's response.
Yeah, so Dana White at the press conference because they talked to him about it and said, pick up the phone, call the matchmaker and we'll sort it out. Yeah, show us you really want to fight this guy. Yeah. So kind of put Jones.
He first called him out, telling him if he was Jones, he'd drop down to 185.
Instead of fighting, and then kind of putting. I don't want to say put Jones on blast, but kind of putting out the point of Jones is scared. And Jones is like, I'm not scared, kind of thing.
Do you think Dana actually believes that, or is it just the theatre that is the UFC?
I think Dana's kind of trying to theatre. I think he's just like, I don't want to pay John Jones $30 million to do this fight. I want a cheaper deal on that. Yep. So John Jones today was coming out about, it was like, the disrespect, cut me, let me go from the UFC.
Really?
Yeah.
That's that bad?
Yeah. And a lot of tweets that then got deleted, of course. I'd say it's both camps at this point trying to position for the best money for their fighter. It's the fight to make at this point,
isn't it? Yeah.
It's if anyone can figure out Francis and deal with that power, you could wrestle as well. Like John Jones is an unreal wrestler too. He's that guy that maybe can fill that picture. But man, that power. It's the same thing with Deontay Wilder. Like it's unreal power, and you just need that guy that can figure that out, like Fury did. So, but, this kind of Stipe is super underrated as a heavyweight champion. Probably the best heavyweight champion just based on his resume, who he's beaten, and longevity.
I wouldn't say probably. I'd say definitely.
Yeah. The defended it the most over everyone else. But Francis just brings it into mainstream. He's that Mike Tyson kind of guy that you can all get around. Africa, of course, Cameroon, they absolutely love him. Third African champion now. Yeah, well, the most for any content.
Yeah, between Usman and Adesanya, they've got 3 African champions. That's the world in the UFC. A huge week and a changing of the guard.
Yes, a big change in the guard. And, there's some other